Three, two, one.
Hello
You're gonna
everyone.
go ahead.
Oh
Fuck
my
you.
fucking god. Hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Hooligans podcast. Podcast? Jesus Christ.
Just keep going.
No. Alright. How is everyone? We're doing well. How are you, Gray?
We're doing interestingly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited though. Well, actually, not really, because this week's gonna be hell.
This week. Oh, yeah.
Because
Yeah.
next weekend we're going on a vacation to Universal, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Me,
So
us, and another friend.
we might not get a
And
podcast done until
yeah, I
I
think
don't know.
um next week, like since we're doing this Sunday the 21st, so this is still technically we're still doing this every week technically, but next week
Mm-hmm.
probably gonna miss a podcast. So yeah, or miss a week.
And in which case, I'm sorry, we'll make it up with awesome gangster facts. It'll be
Yes,
perfect.
we're gonna have more news to talk about. So we'll just do
Yeah.
a longer episode again.
Exactly. 2 hours? 3 hours? Even 4.
Okay, dude, chill. I don't know about that. I don't know if I can sit here talking about politics for 3 hours straight.
My brain would melt. But I am very, very excited for this trip. We stayed
It's
up
gonna be
pretty
so
late
fun.
last night just talking about it because
We did. We started watching movies at like what 1, and we talked for like an extra 3 hours.
yeah, I don't think I actually fell asleep till 4 in the morning, and
Same.
it was awesome though. I mean, it's gonna be so hype.
It's gonna be so painful though, sitting through this entire school week.
I actually have to attend school this week because COVID is no more. They
It's
cured
gone.
it. So they're like, Charlie, since you've done such a fine job, you're coming in Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. So
Your reward for doing a good job and curing coronavirus is you get to go to school every day.
it's just pain. Yeah. COVID did have its upsides. I shouldn't say. Wasn't all bad.
I mean, my upside of it is personally I enjoyed staying home for school. I know like most people did not, but I liked
Me.
it more. Yeah. I preferred it. I just felt like I had more time to do things on my own accord, and I like that more.
See, that's the key phrase, own accord. If you have a video game console in front of you and I got my PC and it's just like my own accord becomes playing Tarkov for 3 hours while in
That's true.
English, you know? And,
Whenever
God.
like the quarantine started last year is when Animal Crossing came out, and
oh
so
yeah.
me and Charlie, we would literally just play Animal Crossing during a Google Meet.
Oh my gosh. It's just
It's fun.
it's so fun. I've
And,
always wanted to
you
play
know,
that game too.
It's fun. It's a fun game.
Yeah.
But our teachers were so disorganized because they just weren't prepared to do virtual school. So everything wasn't working properly or anything, and so we were allowed to have our cameras off and just sit there muted.
Yeah.
So we didn't have to do anything.
Last
But
year
now-
it was terrible. Online work. Oh my goodness.
The thing is now, if I go back then now, it's gonna be horrible because they have like you have to go to your classes at the normal time that you would normally, and you have to have your camera on the entire time. You have to
Yeah.
have your mic on the entire time. Like I don't want to do that, bro.
You gotta like sign in, do
Yeah.
all this jazz. You got security cameras in your room.
One teacher, one of my students or one of my classmates got on virtual, and he was like in his bed or something,
Yeah.
and then she was like, "Oh no, you can't do that. You need to be sitting at a desk or a table."
What?
And she made him get up and go to like his living room and sit at a
Dude.
table.
That is so messed up.
I know. I was like, can't the man just chill out?
When I do virtual days, I'm all over the place. You know, in piano, I'm in the garage chilling. Sometimes
Why?
I'm in my bed because that's where my keyboard is.
Uh,
Sometimes I'm at the kitchen table, people walking by. It's like, teachers really don't give a damn, to be honest. It's a public school.
yeah. I go to private school, by the way.
Yeah, and they believe in God and stuff. So,
Oh yeah, the teacher, she also said that they had to be wearing their uniform.
really?
Yes, I'm not even kidding.
Oh man,
That was the dumbest thing I've ever heard of.
I would write a very Karen-like email to the principal, then
It just wouldn't make sense.
that is outrageous. The way your
Really?
teachers are acting, I cannot comprehend.
Okay, how about we actually get into some politics instead of talking about stupid school stuff?
Agreed. Should we get into this first point?
Yeah. Do you want to introduce it or should I?
Yeah, I'll start with this one, then you can move on to
Alright.
the second one. So basically, the Democratic $1.9 trillion deal, it's including the minimum wage as well as stimulus checks, so that's why it seems higher than one may think. And it is, I mean, this is a lot of money that is trying to be passed. I haven't seen any deal that even comes close to this amount.
And we're talking, you were watching House of Cards right now, and everyone's freaking out about the $500 billion deal that they're trying to get passed in that show. And then I was like, man, that's a lot of money. And then I thought about real life. They're trying to get like an almost $2 trillion deal passed.
Yeah, I just don't know how we have that money.
I can kind of see why people are fighting it. I know it's for COVID aid, and that's people need the aid, but that's a lot of money.
I think it'd be one thing if it was two separate bills. One would be for COVID and stimulus, and then the other would be for the minimum wage. Because he's like lumping them both together in hopes that it will pass. Which, if it does, I mean, great. You know,
Bernie Sanders,
job well done.
Bernie Sanders, who's now the head of the budget committee, he believes that it's gonna get passed, the minimum wage included.
He's the head of the budget committee?
Yeah, but he got voted into that.
Do you think so will get passed? Well,
a couple other people are saying that it's gonna get passed.
I guess we'll see how it plays out.
Yeah, it says the package that will be considered by the House Budget Committee is the result of a combination of measures that have already been approved by at least 9 different committees.
Wow.
That's a lot of committees to go through.
They're saying that this minimum wage increase, according to the office, will lift about 900,000 people out of poverty, but risk 1.4 million job losses.
Jeez, that's a lot of jobs.
That is scary. That's like the total flip side. That entire sentence is just.
That almost makes me not agree with this.
Yeah,
1.4 million jobs. That's a lot of jobs.
It's a lot, and is it worth getting those 900 people off their ground?
900,000.
Yeah,
not 900.
About 9 people.
I'm getting 9 people out of poverty for this.
It's like you win, but at what cost? If it is going to outweigh the good that you'll be doing, it doesn't necessarily seem
apparently there's some people in the Senate that don't like the language of the bill, like how it's worded.
Yeah.
Particularly over the part of the minimum wage, so I have to be rewritten to be better if it goes to the Senate. If it passes the House, then it goes to the Senate.
I'd love to actually read a bill. I've never had.
I know, neither have I. I never had the time to read a bill.
Yeah, they're quite lengthy, but
most of the time, yeah.
I can only guess that this will be 200 pages.
I'm sure. I wonder.
Minimum.
I'm curious about that.
I would like to read it eventually, and learn more about the different facets that play into this bill, because yeah, you can read the summaries of what people tell you, but until you actually read it, you know, you can't fully comprehend the fullest extent.
Yeah, not at all.
But yeah, people
it's crazy to think that the amount that they're spending on this relief plan is like more than the human mind can comprehend of money.
Oh, way more. Yeah, it's hard to even comprehend like 100 billion. Like,
yeah,
that number is so outlandish to most people. Even to the people who have that money, it's like you can't spend that much. You know?
I know.
Like, it's just
Where
I don't
do you
know
even
what
get,
you could buy it on.
Where do you read this bill?
Where do you read the bill? I don't know. Would it have to be passed before you can read it, or?
No.
I'm sure it's somewhere.
I think I might have found it.
Really?
Oh, I found it.
Oh, I can
I'm gonna send you a screenshot of how many pages it is.
tell from that reaction. It's gonna be lengthy.
It's a few.
Oh. So I'll put that picture on. 5,593 pages.
Oh my goodness.
Don't worry, half of that's the table of contents.
Literally.
So that'll be a long, boring read. That's like all the Harry Potter books.
I hate that you have to pay to read the Washington Post.
Do you?
Makes me want to cry.
That is one news place that I would love to actually pay attention to.
The Washington Post?
Yes, because I have never previously, and I know they do good work. Whether or not they're biased, I don't know. I just know that they.
I forgot what their bias is. I can't remember what it is.
I mean,
I'm
I
pretty
would
sure
guess it's left leaning, but if they
I know,
have
but
it,
I think I read something that was like very right-leaning biased on the Washington Post. It might have been a different news source that had
Mhm.
Washington in it, but
can I mention something real quick? We
Go ahead.
are using Hill articles as the majority of
Yes.
sources for this podcast, so this will all be in the description if you'd like to check this out for yourself.
Yeah, we're gonna start adding all of our sources in the description, so that we're not doesn't seem like we're just pulling all this out of nowhere.
We're doing
can actually
sources,
find-
timestamp, you name it. So,
Yeah,
The Hill is very good.
it's considered one of the most neutral
Yes.
news sources, so I trust it.
And if they're not great, as previously mentioned, it says opinion. So those you can just sort of
Scroll
filter
past.
out the opinion or not read.
Yeah, that's what I do. I
But-
just scroll past the opinion
Yeah.
ones.
And it's a good format for the podcast just because we have the ability to read it, comprehend the basics, and then relay the message whilst giving our opinion after the fact. So I think it's great. It is not a bad site. Highly recommended. Thank you for telling me about it, by the way.
Yeah, no problem. I found things that just show like most of the pay, like what the money's actually going to go towards. Most of it, anyways. I think this is before the minimum wage was included into it.
Okay.
It says 1,400 direct payments to everyone. I don't know the specific tax bracket that it's going to go to or whatever.
That's the base
But-
stimulus, right?
Yeah, 1,400. Then a 400 per week jobless benefit through September. Then 350 billion in state, local, and tribal government relief. 20 billion national COVID vaccination program. 50 billion for virus testing. 170 billion for K-12 schools and higher education institutions, and a 30 billion rent and utility assistance fund.
Wow. So two of those stick out to me. The education one is awesome. I did not realize that was part of this bill. That makes me
Neither did I.
more supportive. And then the work, what was it? The if you're not employed, it's
yeah,
the weekly.
Unemployment, 400
Yeah.
per week.
That was I don't know the exact numbers, but I do know it was a major contributor to
I don't know how
the
much
amount of
unemployment
money
pay is right now,
we spent
but
when it first happened.
my brother, and he lives in Las Vegas. He was on unemployment for a little bit because he got fired, and he was applying for jobs and he was waiting to get accepted. Now he works at Amazon, so he's good now. But he was at his old job. He was getting paid more on unemployment than on his old job,
Yeah, it's like people
which
would
is
just
crazy
make
to think about.
bank off of it, really. And
But the thing is, you don't get unemployment unless you're actively looking for a job and can prove that you are.
yeah,
Because if you're just sitting around doing nothing, they're like, all right, we're not going to give you money to do nothing.
which I mean, that is how it works because my, just speaking personally, my uncle worked at a restaurant, and as you know, most restaurants closed down. But
Yeah.
they said that they would hire him as soon as they opened back up, and
Well, that's the promise of having a job still.
yeah,
So I'm pretty sure
That's
he
true.
would still get unemployment.
because he wasn't let go, sort of. What do you call
Yeah.
that? Orlay something.
I think so. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure he would still get unemployment for that.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't have a job anymore, but he's being promised a job as soon as they're able to.
I wonder if
he's
this
waiting
will
to
work
get
in the
his-
same sense then.
I don't know.
Most likely. He was loving life though. it sounds pretty cushy. You sit around and you
Get money.
get money, you know? It's like, what's
Yeah.
not to love? It's not too bad. So as long as it's going towards the right people who are in desperate need, I can
Mm,
totally get behind that. And I hope this doesn't fuck us too hard. The amount of money we're
me too.
spending.
That 1.9 million job thing scares me. Or not 1.9, was it 1.5?
Hold on. 1.4 million
1.4.
jobs losses.
That's scary.
It is. I don't know what. I would like to know more about that number itself. Like, how would the jobs? Is it all small businesses or is it all one
Yeah, I don't know.
part of an industry? I don't know. So we'll have to look more into that. Should we move on?
Yeah, sure. I can take this one if you
Yeah.
want.
Go ahead.
So, another article on the Hill, which will be in the description. Almost half of Republicans say that they would join a Trump party if he were to break away from the Republicans.
And these are
That's
citizens.
Yeah, these are still citizens, not senators, congressmen, or anything.
Yeah.
It's very interesting to me because,
Hmm.
they're essentially dooming themselves if they do. Because their whole thing is they want the presidency back, but if they split up, there's no chance.
I know it would create that awkward three-party system, and
But it's like the Democrats would win every time because they're united as a party
Mhm.
for the most part, and the Republicans would not be at
they
all.
have the 50% while the other two are arguing over who gets 26, who gets 24%. You know,
Yeah.
it just
It
in the long
says
run
that
they lose.
the Hill article here says that 46% Republicans said they would abandon blah 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 blah. Only 27% said they would stay with the GOP, and the remainder saying they would stay undecided. Or they are undecided right now.
It's weird to be undecided about that. Feels like a very
I know.
relevant topic that
And
you
then
should have a
here's a
definite
quote
answer.
from a small business owner in Milwaukee that said, he's Republican. He said, "We feel like Republicans don't fight enough for us, and we all see Donald Trump fighting for us as hard as he can every single day." He says, "But then you have establishment Republicans who just agree with establishment Democrats and everything, and they don't ever push back."
And
That's
that
not
is
true at all.
exactly what we sort of talked about last week on how Trump is a good showman and he's good at rallying
Mhm.
people. No matter the work he actually does, he's perceived as this hardworking American who is like, he's a great leader, you know?
Yeah,
It really boils down to people think he's doing, he's very action oriented.
definitely.
So with that promise, all these people are like, oh yeah, let's do something new. This is
But
great.
then this dude said that the Republicans don't ever push back. Did he not see the trial where only
Yeah.
7 agreed with Democrats?
Like,
Huh. I mean, but to be fair, those 7 are like the ones on the right here. But
mm-hmm.
no matter what political party you're on, in my opinion, anyways, he obviously was guilty. But
What bothered me with
sorry.
the impeachment was a lot of senators saying who voted no. They were saying that they do believe he was he could have been charged for his crimes, I think is what they said, but they don't want to impeach him, or they don't think it's right to impeach the whole private citizen.
They basically said that it wasn't in the Senate's rights
Yeah.
to impeach him.
Which
Right, that's
is
what Mitch
wrong
McConnell said.
because it totally is. It's like the
Yeah.
definition of impeachment. But I mean, yeah, it's
I
their
don't know, man.
decision. Sadly, not mine. I think he should just be
But-
tried and convicted on a normal court, but you'd be
Uh-huh,
hard pressed to
definitely.
get a jury that's not biased.
Well, he'd have to be, like, I don't know, subpoenaed the right word?
He'd have to be,
Or-
yeah,
Or
subpoenaed and summoned.
summoned to court?
It'd have to be like the Supreme Court, I suppose.
It wouldn't be Supreme Court. I don't think so, anyways.
I don't know if they would deal with that.
Depends on the crime that he gets summoned for.
That's true. It's like tax or something. It may not be, but
If it's a
the
tax
riot,
fraud thing, then yeah. Interesting stuff. Trump issued. Oh yeah, and then Mitch McConnell is the one who said that he thinks Trump should be morally responsible for the riot. And this is one of the craziest things Trump has said, in my opinion. He literally said, like, people usually say these things in private to one another when they're like threatening each other, trying to get their way.
Mhm.
But no, he just said to local media, he said that he's gonna make Mitch McConnell's life miserable.
Yeah.
Like, okay,
Like,
this is
wow.
exactly. Hold on. This is a Trump quote. He said, "Mitch is a dour, sullen, and unsmiling political hack, and if Republican senators are going to stay with him, they will not win again."
Oh man.
He said he will never do what needs to be done or what is right for our country, where necessary and appropriate.
That is, he's speaking bars. That was straight from the heart, man.
He really was.
He just said that to a reporter.
He did.
That's impressive.
He really did.
The goal of this man.
He said it to a CNN reporter.
Oh snap! He's not holding back anymore.
Oh, that's funny.
He told me about how he said, like he's just begun
Yeah.
or something.
This man said like "Make America Great Again" has just begun.
Yeah.
Oh, chill out.
That's some hide. Get your kids in your bunker.
Really.
Something bad's about to go down. So, basically, a senior advisor for Trump is saying, our goal is to win back the House and the Senate. Don't know if that's even possible.
I think the House is more
It's-
possible than the Senate.
Yeah, considering the last talking point about within the next 2 years, it could go either way.
Mm-hmm. But at the same time, the Republicans also have a lesser chance. It's like 50-50, honestly, on whether or not, at the moment, and whether or not they're going to get the House or Senate back. Because, Biden will probably be riding on the back of eliminating coronavirus, or at
Yeah.
least getting a bunch of vaccines out. He'll be riding on that, and he's going to have at the moment, it seems like he's going to have a high approval rating in 2022, which will boost the other Democrats into getting voted or stay in instead of
Definitely.
getting flipped to the Republican,
And
which is not good for the GOP.
we were watching a video by what's his name?
Let's talk elections. That's
He's
where
phenomenal.
let me say this. Yeah, that's this. I get a lot of my talking points from him because he's unbiased and he's just smart.
He's
I think he
very
does make
educated,
sense.
well-spoken man. And he was viewing the amount of COVID vaccinations each day, and he said that currently we are on target for Biden's promise.
Which was
within the
wasn't it
100 days.
100 million wasn't it 100 million in 100 days?
Yes, and like yesterday we had 1.5 million in a day, and we're getting there. And
It's crazy
he
to
said we
think that
might even
there's-
overcorrect, and we'll have more.
Yeah. It's crazy to think that there's that many vaccines going out per day.
I know
It doesn't feel like it.
doesn't just because we're not directly affected.
That's
but
true. Yeah, we haven't gotten our vaccines yet, and it's gonna be a while still
we'll
for us.
be If
We're
this
gonna be
all
the
works
last.
out, we'll be day 100.
Yeah,
We'll get it. Just might take a minute, which is fine.
we're gonna be like the last to get
Yeah,
it,
definitely. I think
which I definitely am okay with.
we're in the
I'm
final
okay with
group.
that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm perfectly okay with that.
As long as the people who need it get it,
hmm
I'm good. I won't die.
Yeah, we have such a low chance of dying from this if we even get it,
Yeah. So I hope
compared
that
to
goes well.
comparatively, anyways.
I know. You get in a nursing home, that
Yeah.
stuff sparks.
Cuomo moment.
Cuomo. Who's our man? Yes, he is.
We're not gonna talk about him anymore though. That was the last episode.
Yeah, I know. We didn't hit 20,000 views on that video. Extremely disappointed.
Honestly, we should have.
I was
I was
only
expecting
expecting
within
that
the
much.
first 10 minutes.
Yeah, like this is a Mr. Beast video after
Like
all.
seriously, we didn't blow up from that one video.
We
That
just need
wasn't
to
it.
start doing Minecraft Manhunters.
We do.
That's it.
We need to start saying. I'm noticing that only 0% of the viewers watching aren't subscribed.
And there's a
If you
new
could just press the
Hooligan
subscribe
podcast
button.
out there. Hey, if you're listening, we got beef. You and me.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah. If you're watching this, we know you're there.
Square up, dude.
We watched your episode 1. It was mediocre at best. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, got him. Up top, baby.
We're so much better than them.
Nah, you guys are fine
But
for now.
good luck.
Um, so should
We'll
we
see
move
you on the
on?
battlefield.
Yeah. All right. So the next point we'll talk about briefly. The United Airlines is currently investigating into.
Can we just talk about what Ted Cruz did in the first place before we go into the investigation?
Oh yes, very well.
So, you know how Texas is like dying right now and everything. But Ted Cruz decided that's a good time to go to Mexico
Go to Cancun,
and
man.
leave everybody. And you know what? In my opinion, it wasn't a big deal to me. I know that he should be there for his constituents and whatever. I say whatever, but um
He should be.
I
Really.
he should be. Really, he should be. But I think it was blown out of proportion a little bit.
Definitely. People seem to make him out as like Hitler in this, which sure what he did was maybe not appropriate, but I wouldn't say it had like
At least he
malicious
turned back
intent.
around.
Yeah.
I know it's because he wanted to improve his public image and not because he actually felt bad about it, but he did turn back around.
This article is basically stating he was meant to come back that Sunday and he actually came back I think the same day or the day afterwards. So because he bought a new ticket, and that's what United Airlines is investigating. They might hand over that information. They're saying that no option is off the table, but depends on the outcome of the investigation and if the employee who leaked the information is found. So we don't really know who leaked this at this current moment.
So Ted Cruz said that his vacation was obviously a mistake as he got back to Texas.
But the issue that I personally have with it is that it was family related. He was taking, from what I know,
Yeah, it was a family vacation.
he was taking his kids to like safer spots. Which,
Oh, really?
yeah, he was taking his kids to Cancun. I think he dropped them off there. Nah, it sounds bad. I think they were watched. But like, if you had the
I thought it was that
resources
he was
to do that,
or that I thought that was that like he had already planned this family vacation in Mexico, and that they were going, and they
Did
didn't
he?
cancel it. That's how I understood it. I may be wrong though.
well, I'm not sure because he accompanied his daughters on a
Okay, no,
trip
here it
and
is,
would
here it is.
return that day.
It says Cruz said in an earlier statement today that he accompanied his family to Cancun a day earlier after his daughters asked to go on a trip with friends, given that school was canceled for the week.
Ah,
And he said, wanting to be a good dad, I flew down to them last night and I'm flying back this afternoon.
so yeah, definitely it seems like a whole ordeal that was blown out of proportion and shouldn't even really be
He
newsworthy.
said, I didn't want all the screaming and yelling about this trip to distract even one moment from the real issues that I think Texans care about, which is keeping all of our families safe. It was obviously a mistake, and in hindsight, I wouldn't have done it.
So
That's not.
I
I'm
get it.
my opinion. It's being blown out of proportion.
Yeah, most definitely. In Texas right now, I don't know his exact approval ratings, but
Probably pretty bad, pretty low.
I don't know. If
You know,
he'll
you
get
told me about those
reelected.
billboards. You told me about
Yeah.
those billboards that just say "leave" or whatever. Was that you who told me about that?
Yeah, it is a billboard of Ted Cruz's face. It's like resign.
Yeah. Let me try and find one of these. See, you want to try and put one on there?
So I'm not too sure if he I don't know when he is running again for re-election, but
I think.
very interested in that outcome.
Let's see. When is Ted
Senator
Cruz
Ted
up
Cruz.
for re-election?
Yeah, this said you lied about the election. The Capitol was attacked. Senator Cruz resign.
Okay, so back to what we were talking about. Sorry about that, internet issues. But yeah, there's that billboard that Charlie put on screen that is basically asking for Ted Cruz to resign.
People want him out. I mean,
Gone.
it's a loud and clear opinion. I don't know if that reflects the majority.
Yeah, look at this billboard.
But love trumps hate and homophobia. What the hell?
Oh, that is funny.
That is, wow, great artwork. Shout out to the artist, man. That's funny. That's perfect. So
Dude, these billboards in Texas are funny. You only could put all of these
they're
up,
great.
but
Yeah, let's just put them all California,
This one is
too
this
late.
one this
Texas,
one isn't
so great.
about Cruise or anything. These just funny.
I'll put these up. Those are funny.
Liberals, please continue on I-40 until you have left our great state of Texas.
Oh my gosh. Who pays for that?
I really don't know.
Some proud Republicans.
Probably Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Did you hear how people were trying to get rumors that Ivanka Trump was gonna run against Marco Rubio for Senate
Really?
in 2022? Yeah, she came out and said she's not, but people were saying that she was.
Whenever that rumor started.
I don't know.
She doesn't strike me as the governing type at all.
Yeah, she is just like the kid that's there to be
Yeah.
a presidential kid.
I don't
And
mean
she's
to
not
be
really a
rude.
kid anymore, but
Yeah, she didn't really sign up for this. She's just
yeah. Well, she did. She supported her dad a lot in the election and everything. She came out and spoke a lot.
She supported who?
Her dad.
Oh yeah.
She like spoke at a lot of rallies and stuff.
I know Ivanka, and then what's his name? Eric, the son who wrote the book.
Or no, Donald Trump Jr. I think that's his name.
Yeah, they both are. I think he might have a future in politics.
I mean, people like him, but
yeah,
people like him, but I don't think he's actually gonna do it.
I think the
You
only
think he will?
issue is he's Trump in a worse package.
Yeah.
It's like he has nothing new to offer other than
He's basically his dad.
he's carbon copy, which is
Yeah.
I mean, as to be expected, you know.
And people kind of want it though. So
Yeah, I mean, if Trump somehow gets reelected or his son runs someday, it's like, oh, Trump's back, you know? Same ideals. I can see it as a very real possibility. Just unlikely as well.
You're right.
But yeah.
So, do you want to talk about
Next
Texas for a little bit? Or more, anyways.
Yeah, we
how-
didn't really explain. Texas is getting destroyed. Well, they were.
Well,
They're on the
less
upswing.
than they were. Yeah.
Mhm.
I saw this tweet from the Southern Texas Weather Center where it said, "We've been waiting to do this for a long time, but the temperatures in Southern Texas are finally above freezing."
Hey.
Which, think about
go.
that. Southern Texas freezing? Those
Yeah.
words don't go together.
The great example of why global warming is a real thing. If
True.
you don't believe in it now, that's scary. But yeah, they basically get hit with what is known as a ice storm.
We had one of those a couple of years ago. Not a couple. A good amount of years ago.
Quite a bit. But we got hit with more of snow, and even that really messed us up. But it wasn't nearly as bad as what they're being hit with.
Oh,
It's
not
just
even close to as bad as what Texas just got hit with.
constant ice, freezing weather. I mean,
And people
It's terrible.
want to look into why it was so bad as it was, and why everything shut down. And I think it's just a simple explanation as it's Texas.
yeah,
They're not
preparation.
prepared. They were
Mhm.
not prepared to receive an ice storm that's worse than what they probably had in 100 years.
Exactly. You can't. No one's at fault. Everybody tries to shift
Yeah.
blame in a line.
And they're
Why
like trying
it's
to
happening.
investigate as to why the refineries were breaking and stuff, which is because their pipes were not made to outlast like negative 10 degree weather, like negative 10 degree
Cold temperatures. Yeah, and
sorry, my brain just died.
it's all good. It's not to say that refineries don't exist in those sorts of places. It's just that the infrastructure is different. Like
Mhm.
in South
Yeah, yeah.
Carolina, houses are built to withstand hurricanes. That's
Mhm.
not a thing in Montana.
And think like let me think of it like Kansas. Houses are built with basements. South Carolina,
Standard.
no one gets a basement here.
Well, you quite literally can, but
No, I think there's a couple of houses with basements, not a lot.
it's hard to, just because the sea
It's hard to
level.
find one with a basement. Yeah. Just because we're practically below sea level, especially if you live in Charleston.
For real. And another thing with the Texas, everybody was getting upset because wind turbines were also shutting down, which makes up for a good portion of their energy. I think it was
Hmm.
20%, something like that. So
Yeah,
there,
that was the Republicans trying to say that the Green New Deal is the
yeah,
reason that everything failed. Which,
which has
of
been
course, the
disproven.
wind turbines were a portion of it, but
Hmm.
most of it was the refineries breaking down.
And the thing is, people were always saying that, oh my gosh, wind turbines can't handle this cold temperature. And there's pictures of wind turbines in uh, Antarctica, Alaska. I mean,
Yeah,
they just weren't equipped with antifreeze and the necessary precautions that would be
because
needed
it's
for this.
Texas.
Because it's
They're not
Texas.
prepared for that.
Exactly. Just as you wouldn't
When,
find these precautions in LA. Because it
yeah,
doesn't happen.
like when Homeland Security is balancing the budget for disaster plans,
Hmm.
they're thinking about hurricanes and tornadoes in Texas, not a winter storm.
Which now has to be looked at more
Yeah,
thoroughly.
yeah. Now people are gonna be demanding for them to put money into Texas winter storms,
Hmm.
which are probably gonna happen once every 100 years.
Yeah. But the good thing is even reassuring people. I mean, as long as we do a little, I think it would go a long way. Just because if you recall, in South Carolina, one of the major issues was the roads weren't paved simply because
Hmm.
we didn't have any trucks to do that.
Yeah,
And even if, I don't know, our county had one, the
yeah.
difference would be night and day. So
Hmm.
if we had that
Wait,
installed,
didn't they start making DIY uh snow trucks here? Like they took an old
yeah,
dump truck and like put a snow plow on the front of it?
I, I, rednecks, man.
Yeah, I mean I wouldn't put it past them.
They get shit done. That should be their slogan. Rednecks.
They
Get
really
shit done.
should. Oh man.
But yeah, hopes and prayers out for Texas. A lot of people have
Yeah.
been without power, and they're finally regaining power and regaining heat in homes, and that
Yeah,
is
I have
just
an
awesome.
aunt that lives in Texas,
Yeah.
and uh, she showed us pictures, and like it looks like it wasn't Texas. If you show
Hmm.
me that picture, I would say like Kentucky.
Yeah.
It did not look like Texas. And my uncle Andy, he just went outside and him and the neighbors had a fire pit outside, and they were just
Nice.
talking. It's so funny, man.
Eh,
But yeah, they were
uh,
okay for the most part.
well, that's good. I
Yeah.
totally forgot about
They
that
didn't.
thing.
The worst part for them was that their water pipes froze over, so they didn't have running water. I actually don't
Yeah.
even know if they have it now, but they have power again. So I don't think they have one running water anymore, or for a little bit. But they're
Well,
just
that's
taken away
good at
forever.
least.
No more running
Yeah.
water.
No more. Cuomo's behind it. It's the cover up.
I'm gonna put it past them.
We should have known. Alright, should we move on? Thank you, Texas.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for existing
Um,
and not seceding.
Ooh, can I introduce this real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
Alright, I'm very excited to have the pleasure to share with one person who made it this far. The fucking hell. The Perseverance rover lands on Mars. And this is phenomenal news. I am so happy. The last rover was mission completed in 2018, 2019. So it's been a while since we've been actually observing Mars and collecting data. And this new rover has so many advanced technology features.
Mm-hmm.
It's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny. I was the only one in our friend group that actually watched it live. The rest of them forgot about it or were in school.
I was so mad. I thought it was that night. I wanted to watch that 7
Yeah,
minutes of terror.
I came home and I got like a ping in a Discord server and I was like, oh, I should probably watch this.
Yeah. And it's just it was I rewatched it and it was cool to see everybody get very excited because this is years of work.
They were so excited about it.
Yeah. Oh, I can only imagine
Mm-hmm.
because they all work on their one part and then they put it together and just
Beauty.
the cultivation of fantastic minds.
But yeah, apparently the new rover has like 2 arms instead of one. and
Mm-hmm.
he doesn't he have a little drone that's flying around right now, taking
He has a
pictures and stuff.
drone, yes, which is
And
awesome. It's for
isn't
scouting
he?
out ahead.
Yeah, isn't he picking up rock samples and leaving them behind in little tubes for people to come pick up later?
So yeah, that's basically one of its features. It has a small drill on the underneath side of it, and that's what that second arm is sort of for. It picks up these core samples and it puts it into tubes, and then it drops them off. And then in the future, people will come pick those samples up, bring them back to Earth for further testing, which will hopefully tell us a lot about Mars.
Which is so cool to me.
Awesome.
That this little guy can do all that, and he tweets.
He tweets?
Well, he doesn't actually tweet. I'm sure someone's
It's
running
him?
the account. That would be so cool though.
That would be.
But like when he landed, I wanted to see Perseverance Twitter.
And
I can remember how to spell it.
while you're looking that up, I wanted to say the landing zone for each rover, I'll put this up on the screen. It gets smaller and smaller each time we actually send a rover. And this time it is so like precise. It's just crazy to see the evolution of technology basically in this one picture. So
Mhm. I'm
it's
trying to find his original tweet when he landed,
Is it
because
like
he tweets a lot.
really?
Yeah.
That's cool. He's been taking pictures. We recently got one of the first colored picture, and it looks a little red. Looks like Mars, you know. He's not
Yeah.
moving yet.
No, he's not moving yet. He's just flying his
Vibing.
drone around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Summer vibes.
He said, okay,
Yeah.
so as soon as he landed, he said, "I'm safe on Mars. Perseverance will get you anyway."
Hey, that is awesome.
And then he's replied to President Biden a lot.
Has he?
Yeah.
He's like, hey,
Uh,
send more funding.
Joe said, "Congratulations to NASA and everyone whose hard work made Perseverance historic landing possible." And he said, "Thank you, Mr. President. My team persevered through incredible adversary to get me here."
Oh my gosh. That is beautiful.
Oh, and Jill tweeted too.
Jill. Who's Jill?
Biden's wife.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, look at this picture of San Francisco City Hall of the day it landed. They lit it up red to celebrate the historic landing.
Wow. That looks fantastic.
Oh, the LA City Hall got lit up too.
Dang.
That is
That
crazy.
looks like some Dr. Doofenshmirtz type stuff.
Wait, there's a
Oh my
picture of him in
gosh.
midair? Oh, there is!
Is
Here,
there?
put this up
What?
on screen.
I'll
His
throw
his
all these up.
helicopter took a picture of
Oh
him
my
in the air.
gosh. That
He's
is
flying,
so
bro.
cool. I loved I watched a Mark Rover video. Rover? Something like that. He talked about this new rover because he worked on the previous one.
Yeah,
Was it Curiosity, I believe? And
I think so.
he went in depth on how each piece of technology is there to safely land him, and a bunch of it is like sacrificed equipment. Like one team, their entire job was to create a thruster that would generate lift and then slow him down to the point that the parachute could be opened, and then the thruster with the remaining fuel absolutely launch itself as far away as possible as to not collide with the mission. So
That's
just
crazy.
sacrifice itself. Just awesome. So shout out to that guy.
Yeah, this is a. But this is, yeah, that was history that happened a couple days ago.
Absolute. This week has surprisingly been very historic with what's happening
Yeah.
weather-wise and
Mm-hmm.
on Mars. It's very science
Yeah,
oriented
very
week.
much so.
Awesome.
So I think let's end it off with a less scientific topic.
Yeah.
So Biden has said that, you know,
Mm-hmm.
Jesus Christ, I'm gonna kill myself.
Okay.
Basically, you know, people say or try to say that literally every single thing Trump did was bad.
Yeah.
Well, that's obviously not true because, not every single not he can't do everything bad. He did some good things. That's fact.
Definitely not. People like to attribute, terribleness,
Hmm.
all or nothing type of
Yeah.
mentality.
And Biden has said that he's gonna keep a couple of things that Trump got in. Specifically, we got the Space Force.
Yes.
That's something that he's keeping,
Very
which
excited.
makes sense to me. At this point, we're gonna be moving into space more and more, so some military power to keep things in order up there it makes sense.
We talked about this in class a little bit. It is surprisingly the Space Force is almost a necessity, just because if we are to land at Mars, we're yet again a colonizer.
Oh yeah, you said
We
that, and didn't you say that like it's anybody's up for grabs?
like we will claim Mars technically. I don't know if we'll claim all of it, but we'll definitely claim a large portion as America.
Hmm.
If we make it, it's ours. you
Yeah.
know? So that's just, I guess that also comes with like cosmonauts. Who gets there first? But yeah.
And then he also said he's keeping the Artemis spaceflight program, which I don't know a lot about.
Either do I? I've never heard of that.
Yeah. And
Artemis.
he's keeping the new trade deals with Canada and Mexico, which is a good thing, I believe.
Yep. Yet again, I don't know
Um,
much, but that
yeah.
sounds nice. Trade deals always bring
Trade's usually
money,
pretty good. Yeah.
bring good stuff. Unless it's tariffs. We all hate tariffs.
Find some more.
That is
Uh,
good for Biden, though.
Trump did the First Step Act, which was for like the crime bill that Biden passed, if I remember correctly. That Biden was one of the people who passed the crime bill that everybody talks about being racist and stuff.
Yeah.
But Trump passed the First Step Act, which reduced sentences for drug offenses and enabled an early release for some serving time.
Well, that's great.
Which, yeah, that's a first
That
step,
is
and
good.
I think Biden will hopefully continue on that.
I hope so, because I do know very little about the bill that Biden supported, but I do know that it did seem to have like inherent racist factors in it, just with the whole sentencing of crimes. And there's a
Mhm.
whole documentary on Netflix about stuff like this, on how you get charged 13 times more if you have crack compared to cocaine, just because low income houses are more likely to have crack while cocaine is for the wealthy. And it's just like
Mm.
a more race targeted bill that's not directly stated. It's not Jim Crow. Well,
Yeah.
I'm not saying that, but it's an interesting topic. I would love to study that part of law.
Yeah. It's an interesting bill, that's for sure.
I hope it's not
But
5,000 pages. Jesus.
me too.
Oof.
That's so many pages, dude.
Feels
But
long, dude. Feels long.
yeah, I think. But yeah, of course, Biden's gonna keep some things that Trump did. I mean, he's obviously getting rid of most of it, especially the immigration stuff.
Yeah,
Stuff about Muslims not being allowed into the U.S. That is clearly racist, if I'm being honest.
definitely.
Like, you can't really do that and justify it, if I'm being honest.
There's no. I mean, the only thing I could see is like after 9/11, people were scared.
Yeah, I can only see that being even somewhat, maybe specific, somewhat justified after an attack like 9/11. But we didn't even know who did it at first.
Yeah, we
So
just
I don't
point
even.
fingers.
Yeah,
Sort of how it works, but
it's how you do it in the U.S.
yeah.
Point fingers.
That's awesome news though. That's a good step for Biden to
Mhm.
not fully undo the presidency, which
I mean, you can't really fully undo a presidency.
you can't, just because there's certain bills that are passed and whatnot. But
Yeah.
he's not tearing down the wall. He's not doing
Hmm.
these certain things that would be seen as just like, what was it, the 4 years all about?
Yeah.
So
I mean,
that's good.
the wall was almost finished, wasn't it?
Yeah, I think it was 85% complete.
Interesting.
So
How much was it? I'm looked it up.
lots. Taxpayer dollars. If only it showed that on my check. Like $20 minus went to the wall
20 million per mile.
per mile. Woo!
Per mile.
Dude, imagine if I had 20 million. I would not build a wall with it.
A mile of wall. Not even.
Yeah.
And they're trying to cover 738 miles.
738 miles. Woo! Sheesh! That's a
Yeah.
lot. So, I guess that money was spent then. Or
Sure
the
it was.
majority, at least. Hopefully
You sure
this
did.
$1.9 trillion is actually spent well. Sounds like it is.
Let me see.
We will definitely follow up next week if we can about how the minimum wage progress in that bill is going. I'm very
Yes.
excited.
I think we should be seeing progress in the next week or two on that.
Definitely.
Do you want me to close out?
Yeah, go for it, man.
All right. Thank you all for watching the Hooligans podcast today. Sorry that it wasn't, I guess, as upbeat as the last one.
Some
We're
shit's
recording
been
this
going
one.
on.
Yeah, and we're recording this one a little bit later at night, along with some stuff that's been going on. But I think it's not going to be a bad episode by any means.
No, we don't produce bad content. We're just
Yeah, we don't produce bad content.
we're
Only
the better
bangers.
Hooligans podcast, honestly.
We're the best of
So-
Hooligans podcast, and we only produce bangers out here.
A shout out to our female listener on
Yeah.
Spotify or wherever you are.
Oh my god.
Oh,
And our Netherlands listener.
yes. Thank you very much for. I think he watched a minute or something.
I don't even know.
That is perfect. We are going to put the links down below for both our sources as well as timestamps and
I would like to shout out Let's Talk Elections, the
Yep.
YouTuber.
definitely.
Definitely go check him out if you haven't already. Like, great speaker. He has great ideas, very non-biased. Just
Educated.
talks about stuff and makes
Yeah.
sense. So definitely go check him out.
Check that out, and then finally we will have the Spotify link and whatever other link to this podcast is available
Yes.
for you.
All right. Thank you all for watching. Goodbye.
Thank you. Deuces.